Pasadenians and heroes everywhere. It is I, your friendly neighborhood Rabbi John Carrier, and I'm coming at you live under the auspices of Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center, presenting Rabbi Chat in this episode now of our semi-weekly, twice-a-week series of Rabbi Chat. I'm going to be sharing with you some info about this week's Torah portion, that is Tazria-Metzora. It's actually two Torah portions. They're kind of smushed together. That happens most years. So really delighted to see my friends Nawa64 and Diwa in the house, and Shalom Y'all and Shalom L'Chulam, which means basically the same thing, one in Hebrew, one in Texan. And in just a moment, we're going to turn the camera on. You can see my face, and then we'll learn about the Torah together. And feel free to ask me anything, or if you're just stopping by, love it if you'd say hi. Let us know where you're coming from. Are you from Pasadena? Are you from La Crescenta or Alhambra or the foothills or any place like that? Are you from Colorado? Are you from El Dorado? Are you from Wuhan or someplace like that? Are you from Anchorage? Wherever you're coming from, you are more than welcome to join us for this. And we're going to get started just after this brief musical interlude. Stay tuned. Glad to have you all back with me. So in just a second, we're going to get into Parashat, Tazria-Metzora. You might know the background is slightly different. It's still my bookshelf, different camera angle. My bookshelf is being deconstructed right now like a novel in English class. I am taking this opportunity with an empty building and clear roads to start shifting some of my rabbinic library to my new office, my newish office at Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. So taking a lot of books. There's a lot of missing teeth here in my bookshelf, so those will be appearing in my office. That's something I've really been looking forward to, as I've been a part-time sort of temp substitute rabbi there for a while, like a substitute teacher, and recently have been invited to join for the long haul, I guess, and I'm excited about that. And one thing I've held off, I've been in my office for a little while, I've held off moving my books. I wanted to wait to see if I was going to be sticking around before I moved my books, and moving my books early felt a little bit like jinxing it to a certain extent. So I was really looking forward to moving my books into my office, and then we stopped doing everything. And so I had to put it off a little bit longer. But now, when the building's empty and the roads are clear, so it's an easy path, I now have a little bit of breathing room to move my books over. Might as well make hay while the sun shines, as we say in Texas, or when we're in Texas, we say that. Right now, we're in Southern California. Glad to see Kay Dixie on the line, says hello, friends, and Naya Shashi in the house, woot woot, coming from Placentia, California. Let's see, Mazel Tov on a bigger and private office. I'm still spending most of my time working from home, I'll say that. But every once in a while, it's nice to visit my office from time to time. I like to go in there and just sit on the couch for a second right before we do our live stream services with nobody else in the building. So welcome to Rabbi Chat. It is I, your friendly neighborhood Rabbi John Carrier, and we're going to talk about Parashat Tazria-Metzora. This is one of those double parshiot. We have these because the fun of the Jewish calendar is some years, on leap years, we have 55 weeks, and some years we have 50 weeks in our wacky lunisolar calendar, and we have 54 Torah portions total. And so most years, which are not leap years, I think, what is it, 9 out of 17 or 7 out of 19, something like that. The 12 years out of 19. We have regular years where we have 54 parshiot and only 50 weeks to read them, and there's a couple of holidays in those weekends, so we have to smush some together, including Tazria-Metzora. So not for nothing, people picked these parshiot to put together. Tazria means a kind of an affliction or a mark or something like that. Metzora is somebody who has a tza'arat, a visible affliction of some kind, and it describes the nature, the pathophysiology, as it were, as I've learned from my EMT course that I'm taking on the side, the pathophysiology of tza'arat. It's like an eruption on the skin. It might be white with a little red bump in it. Might have a hair grown out of it that's turned white. And the idea is, if you have this particular affliction that they describe in great detail, you have to go to a priest, and the priest takes a look at it and says, "Oh, you've got the tza'arat. You are a metzora, somebody who has a tza'arat, and so you got to sequester yourself. You got to go into quarantine for 7 days, come back, we'll check it again. If you still have it, you go back into quarantine. And if you don't come back and you don't have it, considered entirely appropriate. Then when somebody had some sort of affliction, there was no spread, there would be no need for quarantine. So this was clearly a communicable thing. And the challenge is that it's one kind of mental challenge that we have is tza'arat is often translated as leprosy. That's the English word that's often used, which is not remotely connected to what we think of as leprosy today. Leprosy today, again, I'm not a doctor, but my best understanding is that leprosy is a communicable disease that attacks the nervous system and makes you less susceptible to pain, or makes areas of your flesh necrotic and disappear off your body. And it's spread by a biological agent. They really don't know from germ theory back then. Instead, this was regarded as more of a spiritual affliction, right? This wasn't something that you got from, somebody who was a Metzora sneezing on you, or rubbing up against you, or using your toothbrush, or what have you. This was something that was spread this was considered a physical manifestation of some sort of spiritual malady, right? There was something about your connection with God, your connection with the community, your spiritual connection that was wanting in a way that manifested itself physically. And the idea was that spiritual malady could be communicable as well. So it's not just germs we spread, but it's bad attitudes. It is doubt. It is fear. That stuff spreads too. And we get an insight into, exactly what that spiritual malady is by certain interpretations that the rabbis have when they look at this, and they say, okay, what was the cause of this tza'arat? And they say, well, where else in the Torah do we see this? I mean, we're right now in Leviticus, but I know, where else in the Torah do we see somebody having this skin condition, and what kind of leads up to it? They're like House MD trying to figure this out. And so in Bamidbar, in chapter 12, there is a description of Miriam and Aharon and Moshe having a bit of a family disagreement. I think they're fighting over the fact that Moshe married somebody who's not a Hebrew, and Miriam is giving him a hard time about this. And in the middle of kind of speaking nastily to him and about him, it says that she erupts in this like white patchy skin, and she is sequestered outside of the camp. And then Moses prays for her to be healed. There's a great line from the Torah, just Moses' prayer from the heart to the Holy One, saying, El na rafanala, meaning, El is God, Na is sort of a word of supplication or please. Rafanala means heal, please her. So Moses from the heart, even though she's been bad-mouthing him, says, God, please help her. Please heal her. and then she's healed, and then they go on and live happily ever after as brother and sister for a while, for a little bit, and then I think she dies like right after that. So, but she dies without this case of the heebie-jeebies, whatever she has. And so what the rabbis deduce from this is, okay, what is the cause of this particular affliction? They say, well, the hint of it is in the name, Metzora, the one who has this affliction. And this is from various sources in the Talmud. The one that's most familiar to me is from the Zohar. The Zohar is a mystical reflection on the Torah, on the Torah, and it's organized by Parshiot. And so the Zohar on Parashat Metzora, I think page 55, I want to say, spells this out, that Metzora is an acronym. It's because the Zohar is always looking for like secrets, always looking for little hints in the text to a deeper meaning. And it says the hint is this. The remez is that Metzora is an acronym for Motzei Shem Ra. Or Motzei Ra, and specifically Shem Ra meaning a bad name, or Motzei Shem Ra is a euphemism for gossiping about somebody, or for spreading bad rumors about something. Motzei means to send out. Shem Ra is an evil name or a bad reputation. And so the rabbis deduced that the source of this affliction that's described in Tazria-Metzora is gossip. It's rechilut. It's lashon hara. It's wicked speech. And you might feel like that's kind of a long walk. Like, how does somebody get a skin affliction from this that they would have to be sequestered? But I'll answer that question with a question. What is more contagious than gossip? What does more damage? What excludes somebody from the community? Either the person you're gossiping about or how it makes you look for spreading that gossip. So I just want to say hi to some people who've joined us. I saw Naya Shashi in the house. Hey, Ruthie, how you doing? Triggers and Viv are here. Murite is my friend Carla. Nice to see everybody here. Thank you for joining me today. So this is the Torah that I wanted to share with you about Parashat Tazria-Metzora, is this notion that spreading bad rumors, talking badly about people in ways that might embarrass them in public, first off, is as contagious as a disease. There's an old Hasidic tale of a guy who's known for being a gossip in his town and saying bad things about people. Finally, he says something bad about the Rabbi of the town. And he realizes, okay, they've really done something wrong. I'm going to go to the Rabbi and make amends. And this is an old story. Stop me if you've heard this one. Bears repeating, though, because we can't seem to figure out how to stop doing this. So he goes to the Rebbe of the town and says, hey, I'm so sorry. I'd really like to make tshuva. I'd like to make this up to you. I'd like to make amends. How do I do that? And he's like, simple. Take this pillow. And he reaches into his little bedroom because he lives in a small apartment, and he hands him a feather pillow, which is, pretty fancy now, non-hypoallergenic, but probably, standard pillows back then. Gives him this pillow, and he says, I want you to go to the top of the hill at Chaim's house, which is the tallest hill in town. I want you to stand at the top of that hill, and I want you to rip the pillow open, dump out all the feathers, and then bring me back the pillowcase. And that's how you will show me that you have made amends. And so the guy goes to Chaim's house, he goes up the hill, he takes the pillow, happens to be very windy in general that day, but especially at the top of this high hill. So he rips the pillow open, dumps out the feathers, and they just go everywhere. And he's like, well, I'm just going to have to explain to Chaim, I messed up his whole field, but the rabbi told me to do it, so it's going to be fine. And if Chaim says anything, I'll just spread a nasty rumor about him. Maybe he hasn't learned his lesson yet. So he takes the empty pillowcase, goes back to the rabbi, and he says, look, Rabbi, I did what you asked. Do you forgive me? Please release me from this obligation. And the rabbi says, very good. I'm glad you did exactly what I told you to. You're half done. Now, I want you to get every last feather back in that pillowcase, and then you will have fully made amends for spreading that nasty rumor about me. And Chaim says, that's impossible. I opened this at the top of a hill on a windy day. The feathers just went everywhere. I don't even know where all of them went. There's no way I'm going to be able to take all those feathers back. And the rabbi says, aha, And that is just a metaphor for how far gossip can spread, and how once you've said something, it goes to one person, that person tells two people, that those people tell four people, and bingo, you don't know where all that information goes. And if you don't know where it goes, it's impossible to go to every person who's heard it and take it back before it has made an impression on them that hurts the person that you were talking about. This is why the rabbis believe that this tza'arat came from something that was the most virulent thing that they understood. And maybe they didn't understand germ theory or coronaviruses or anything like that, but they knew gossip. They knew how quickly a bad reputation could spread about a person, especially if it was spread in malice. And so they're saying this must be the worst kind of contagion that I know about. If a person's going to be sequestered for that long, must be gossip. That must be what they're warning us against, and how it can afflict things. And sometimes that can wear off in a week. Sometimes it takes longer. But the notion is that you should protect yourself, not only protect yourself from spreading it, but protect other people from catching that gossip from you. There's lots of other interpretations of Tazria-Metzora in general, and this notion of what they were trying to fix. It's pretty clear it wasn't Hansen's disease per se, because which is I think the clinical term for leprosy, because of other features of it. So leprosy is a bit of a misnomer, but you understand that it's a physical affliction that doesn't come from, somebody you sneezed on or sneezed on you, but it is a manifestation of a physical problem that takes more than just hand washing to wash off. So really glad everybody is here today learning this Torah with me. We're shifting to a bit of a new schedule this week. Now the Passover is over. We had a few days off. We've been doing daily or semi-daily. Now we're going to move it to twice a week, just to save up good stuff to talk about. So I'm here today. I was here at 3 o'clock, pretty close to 3 o'clock. And I'll be back on Thursday live, 3-ish. Really happy to see everybody here on Twitch, which is my favorite streaming platform. Sorry, other platforms. This one's the best. But we're also available through our Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center Facebook page and our YouTube channel. So wherever you're coming in from, if you want to check out Twitch, I highly recommend it. Wherever you are coming in from, make sure you subscribe in some way. With Twitch, I think it's a button that says follow, a little purple button up at the top. On Facebook, you should like our page, click on the thumbs up, give us a thumbs up, let us know how we're doing. And on YouTube, there is a button that says subscribe, and you push that button, and then next to that button, there's a picture of a little bell. And if you punch the little picture of the bell, it goes ding-a-ling-a-ling, and you are not a ding-a-ling. You've done something very smart, because now you're going to get notifications on your phone every time we put out a new video, which is going to be at least twice a week now. I'm going to say 4 times a week, because we have these, plus we do live streaming services on Friday and Saturday night. Those are also streamed through YouTube and Facebook. So I'm going to hang out to answer any questions. Nawa64 says, Rabbi, will you still be doing Fun Fridays? This is something I've been doing for a while now. I got some people here from Pasadena, and some people are from the Jew Curious School, a school that I've been teaching in for a while. And I let people know that with my changing responsibilities in Pasadena, I'm not going to be teaching through the Jew Curious School pretty soon. So that means that there aren't going to be Fun Fridays for now. We're going to have one more Fun Friday, still playing Luigi's Mansion 3. So if you want to check that out, wherever you're coming from, if you want to see a rabbi who's bad at video games while answering questions from Jew Curious people, look for Jew Curious on Twitch. I'll be playing Luigi's Mansion 3. We'll see if Pasadena has a taste for their rabbi playing video games in public with people, especially when he's bad at it. Now, my commitment is these are family-friendly shows, because we only do ESRB 10 and up, like Luigi's Mansion, like Super Mario Odyssey. We played a little Splatoon 2 in there, did some Zelda Breath of the Wild, super fun. So for at least, this one more time, we're going to do Fun Fridays, and then we'll see what happens after that. You're going to see a lot more great online content coming from PJTC. partially out of necessity because we can't get together physically like we used to, and that's going to be true for a little while now. But this has motivated us to really scale up what we're doing digitally. And I've been teaching online professionally for a couple of years now, and so I want to bring all those skills to bear at PJTC. Everything I've learned, every mistake I've made, I don't have to make those mistakes again. So there's a lot of rabbis getting on live streaming right now. God bless you. I'm amazed with the creativity that I've seen. I'm amazed with the guitar chops that I've seen, frankly. So many rabbis, so many cantors, so many Jewish educators getting online and sharing their Torah. I think it's fantastic. I'm really grateful that this isn't a new thing for me, that I've already made most of the mistakes you can make in online teaching. Did I turn the mic on? Did I have the music up too loud? That kind of thing. I made that mistake a couple weeks ago. But so you're going to see a lot. You're not going to see less of me online. It's just going to be more through PJTC than the Jew Curious channels that we have. So really glad for everybody to be joining us. Let's see, Rabbi, I'm sure the PJTC teens would love it. We'll see how this goes. I may try one some other Friday through PJTC and see how the teens and their parents and the synagogue board reacts to it. We have a great visionary board of lay leaders, so I think it'll be fun. I think we'll have a good time. So in any case, really glad for everybody who's joined me here today. If I didn't answer any questions, I see Burl here. Says, hi John, nice to see you. So, hey, anybody who from Pasadena or Heroes Worldwide, if you have questions for me, feel free to comment. Even after this video goes off, you can comment in the chat. I'll still see those and can answer whatever questions you have about Judaism, about Jewish people, Jewish traditions. Want to make sure you are as well informed as you want to be, and that's why your friendly neighborhood rabbi is here for you. So thanks for joining me today. I'll see you at 3-ish Pacific time, either on Twitch or on YouTube or on our Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center Facebook page. With that, it's been my great honor to learn some Torah with you. Maybe we'll learn a little bit more Torah here on Thursday or talk about some other topic. Let me know what you want to learn about. That's would be really helpful for me. I'm dying to know what you're dying to know about and what kind of questions you have, so I don't just go teaching on a tangent that I care about if you don't care about it. So with that, thank you all so much for joining us through our live streaming services on Shabbat, on Friday and Saturday, through these live chats that we have here, through various opportunities you get in your email from PJT. Thank you.